Good morning and welcome back to Newcastle Church. I'm so pleased to be back here, as I'm sure many of you are. It's good to be able to connect with you all again. Those of you who are joining us here in the building, and those of you who are joining us thanks to the wonders of Zoom. Together, we are creating and sharing a sacred space. Whether you are a regular attender, a Zoom attender, an occasional attender, a first-time attender, or a visitor, you are welcome here this morning, sharing in this time of worship. Our time of community, our time for peace, reflection, and renewal. Our time to acknowledge and connect with that which lies deep within us all. In common with Unitarian churches across the world, we light our chalice this morning. This morning, the words are by the Reverend Dr. David Usher, one of our Unitarian ministers. Because we are finite, we lift up our eyes to the infinite sky and feel wonder and awe. Because we have stumbled, we take the tender hand which beckons us to rise and feel strength and reassurance. Because we are lonely, we reach out to those around us and feel warmth and acceptance. Because we are human, we do all of these things. And in our worship, we feel the presence of the divine. I invite you now to join with me in a time of reflection, to be fully present here and now, with ourselves and with each other, and with that which is larger than ourselves. Let the rain come and wash away the ancient grudges, the bitter hatreds held and nurtured over generations. Let the rain wash away the memory of the hurt, the neglect. Then let the sun come out and fill the sky with rainbows. Let the warmth of the sun heal us wherever we are broken. Let it burn away the fog so that we can see each other clearly, so that we can see beyond labels, beyond accents, gender, or skin colour. Let the warmth and brightness of the sun melt our selfishness, so that we can share the joys and feel the sorrows of our neighbours. And let the light of the sun be so strong that we will see all peoples as our neighbours. Let the earth, nourished by rain, bring forth flowers to surround us with beauty, and let the rainbows teach our hearts to reach upwards to heaven. Amen. I have two readings this morning. The first is a piece from Ecclesiasticus. Look at the rainbow and praise its creator. How magnificent, how radiant its beauty. Like a bow bent by the hands of the Most High, it spans the horizon in a circle of glory. He commands, and the snow begins to fall. Lightning strikes to carry out his judgments. The storerooms of the sky are thrown open, and the clouds roll out like flying birds. The second is a poem by Ruby Archer, Rainbow on the Mountain. See, the sky has lent her jewel to the mountain for an hour, has forgotten to be cruel in a kind caprice of power. And the dusky bosom rounding wears the opals with an air, and to find content abounding in the sense of looking fair. Now the sky demands her crescent, brightest bauble of her store. Slow it faded, evanescent, and the mountain smiles no more. The words of Ruby Archer. Our story this morning is the story of Iris, goddess of the rainbow. In the mythology of ancient Greece, Iris was the personification and goddess of the rainbow with which she is identified. Isis was the daughter of Themis and the nymph Electra. She was the wife of Zephyrus, the god of the west wind, and the mother of Eros. And her sisters were the Harpies, or the storm winds. In Homer's Iliad, Iris is described as the messenger of the gods, meaning she could journey at will to and fro the underworld, through the heavens and the deep seas. Although it is Mercury, another messenger of the gods who is perhaps better known. Might that have anything to do with the fact that he was male? Iris was usually portrayed as a winged maiden, and she could travel with the speed of the wind. Like the storm winds, the Harpies, she carried with her a pitcher of Stygian water up to Mount Olympus, the home of the gods. This water was used to put perjurers to sleep and for the taking of solemn oaths by the gods, and also to render unconscious for a period of 1 year any god or goddess who lied. As the agent and winged messenger of Hera and Zeus, Iris carried the herald's staff, and as their herald, Iris had a number of aliases. These included golden-winged or swift-footed and wondrous one. So when Iris was depicted in art, she was normally portrayed with wings, and the colours of the rainbow were the colours of her garments as she flew across the skies. For Iris, the rainbow was a bridge and the highway she used on her travels and errands between the heavens and the earth. As the goddess of the rainbow, Iris was the link, the messenger and mediator with the gods, who restored peace to nature, who delivered the messages of the gods to the peoples of the earth, and who joined the heavens to the mortal world. Iris is described as being the source of high waters, and it was her who supplied the clouds with rain, which in turn precede the appearance of the rainbow. Iris was also referred to as a mother of love, who gathered the souls of women and as the carrier of the divine will to mankind. The story of Iris. In common with many people, for the lack of other forms of exercise, Over the past few months, I've been doing a lot of walking. And one of the pleasures of my daily walks around the streets near my home is the proliferation of rainbows. Hand-drawn, painted, made of feathers, crocheted, knitted, in windows, gardens, parks, etched in chalk on pavements. Even the letters on our street sign have been painted in the colours of the rainbow. And I've even seen one in the sky. Last year, John Lewis, there are other department stores, produced a rainbow Christmas tree decoration, and it sold out in days. What is it about rainbows? What is a rainbow? Well, we know that a rainbow is a series of concentric coloured arcs, which is seen when light from a distant source, usually the sun, falls on a collection of water drops, as in rain, spray, or mist. The coloured rays of the rainbow are caused by the refraction and internal reflection of light rays as they enter the raindrop. The colours being different because the light is bent at a slightly different angle each time it enters the raindrop. But thousands of years ago, rainbows, what they were and how they came to be, was still a topic of scientific study, and searching for an explanation was a spiritual as well as a scientific question. Aristotle thought it was a reflection in a cloud. Robert Grosseteste, who went on to become a Bishop of Lincoln, suggested it was not reflection, but refraction in a cloud. In the 13th century, an Islamic scientist in Baghdad, Kamal al-Din al-Farsi, and a Benedictine monk, Dietrich of Freiberg, conducted experiments and saw how sunbeams refracted through raindrops formed a rainbow, thereby solving the question posed by God to Job. By what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? There is something about a rainbow. Just the sight of a rainbow in the sky can lift the spirits. It gives truth to the saying, God's in his heaven and all is right with the world. Perhaps it's the unexpectedness, the sudden appearance of the rainbow, or its transitory nature that makes it so special, as we heard in our readings earlier. It's not surprising that rainbows are a significant symbol in many of the world's religious traditions. In Australian Aboriginal traditions, one of the oldest images is that of the rainbow serpent. The serpent is seen as the creator, shaping the earth's mountains and valleys as it moves across the land. So when a rainbow is seen in the sky, it is taken to depict the serpent moving from one waterhole to another. The rainbow serpent is usually seen as a benign creature, but it also has a destructive aspect, which is why Aboriginal peoples take care not to disturb it when it appears. In Hindu teaching, the colours of the rainbow relate to energy centres, or chakras, in the body. The colour red at the base of the spine and moving up to the crown of the head, violet in colour, from where the life force departs at death. In the Bhakti yoga tradition, the scriptures speak of how all creation unites in the service of Krishna, with the rain and sun cooperating to form the rainbow for his delight. The rainbow is also described as being Indra's bow, Indra being the demigod responsible for weather. In Thai Buddhist traditions, the rainbow is thought to be a staircase connecting heaven with earth, down which the gods descend to walk amongst mortal man. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, the story of the floods across the earth, which God sent as a sign of his displeasure, and in which Noah survives in his ark, ends with God setting a rainbow in the sky as a sign of his promise that he will never again destroy the earth. Although the bow and with its arrow are symbols of violence, God takes that and transforms it into a sign of promise and hope. A rainbow. As in Genesis, my bow I set in the clouds to be a sign of the covenant between myself and the earth. This idea of a rainbow as a bridge between heaven and earth is also found in Greek mythology, as in the story of Iris, which we heard earlier. But the rainbow bridge appears again in Norse traditions. In the Viking story of Bifrost, the rainbow bridge connects Asgard, the world of the gods, with the world of men. It was also the belief that at Ragnarok, the final battle between the gods and the power of darkness, the bridge would shatter, and seeing that it remains intact is reassuring. Today, the rainbow has become a symbol of hope. Our hopes for an end to this pandemic. That's the east wind blowing, is it? Our hopes for an end to this pandemic, for the safety of our loved ones, for ourselves, of hope for a different, more caring future. It has become a symbol of our asserting ourselves against the power for destruction and death which the coronavirus carries. It is a symbol of support for the NHS, for the staff and carers who have been working long hours for many months, caring for the elderly, the vulnerable, those whose lives have been put in danger because of this virus, as well as their more usual tasks, which all too often go unrecognised. And at the same time, they are putting not only themselves, but their families at risk. The rainbow has, in recent years, also come to stand for inclusivity. When South Africa overcame its oppressive apartheid regime, emerging as a new, fairer and more equal society, it chose to incorporate the colours of the rainbow into its flag, celebrating the many ethnic groups within the country, which led to it becoming called the Rainbow Nation. South Africans are not the only group to look to the rainbow as a symbol. With the rise of gay pride, with LGBT marches and politics, the rainbow flag was adopted and appears at all Pride events. As Diana said earlier, June is traditionally the month of Pride, and in Edinburgh we are spending our second year without a Pride March, and you in, I think, Newcastle are having a virtual Pride. So you've done better than us. The sight of this rainbow flag instantly proclaims support for groups who have been in the past suppressed and denied many of the rights of the societies in which they live, and indeed still are in many parts of the world. Cliff Reid, former Minister at Ipswich, wrote on the colours of the rainbow. He writes, "What can be the meaning of those 7 colours? The meanings we could give them as a prayer, as an affirmation of the life we cherish. Let red be for the courage and devotion of those who risk their lives to protect and heal us. Let orange be for the warmth of their compassion, for the inner flame that fires their resolution. Let yellow be for the exultant spirit in all living hearts, shining undefeated as the golden sun. Let green for the earth, for resurgent nature, for the springtime beauty which refreshes our weariness. Let blue be for transcendence, for the overarching sky which lifts us when we are weighed down. Let indigo be for quiet and reflection, for the soul's rest and restoration. Let violet be for our mourning and grief, the beauty that is loving sorrow. The rainbow can encompass all our moods, all our colours, all shades of our glorious diversity, and may it stand for the assurance that all will be well. Amen. Great rainbow arch, your bright light, your 7 colours, your cool dew, linking the sky and the earth. Hold us all in your encompassing arms. Forgive our exclusion of others. So may we too forgive those who have excluded us. Show to us the enduring light, for the light and the colours and the dew, for all space and time. And in your 7-fold rainbow compassion, may we dwell ever in God. Amen. Before our final hymn, Louise has some notices. And as Louise comes up, I would just like to pass on my thanks to all of you who have made it here this morning, to all of you who have tuned into Zoom. And I'm sure you'll all join with me in thanking Diana, Louise, and David for their excellent technical support, without which there'd be nothing. So thank you very much, especially the 3 of you. Our closing words this morning are from Maya Angelou. The thing to do, it seems to me, is to prepare yourself so you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud. Somebody who may not look like you, may not call God the same name you call God, if they call God at all. They may not dance your dances or speak your language, but be a blessing to somebody.